Hello, this is Dr. Amanda Regnier, research archaeologist with the Oklahoma Archaeological Survey. Dr. Regnier, we're trying to understand a little bit more about the excavation that you're conducting here at the Spiro Mounds archaeological site. And we know that they found these post molds. Could you talk to us a little bit more about what's exactly going on with post molds and why are we so interested in them?
Sure. The post molds are actually the remains of the houses that people built about 600 years ago. When we identify the posts, we identify them as a darkened stain in the soil where the wood rotted away. In this case, the house probably didn't burn down, so all we're getting is these darkened soil stains. We identify them from the surface and then cut them in half to look at the depth and to see the shape of the posts.
So you're actually taking the soil out of what would have been a hole?
Yes, indeed. And what we do is we take that soil back to the laboratory in a bag, and then we run flotation samples, which allows us to see if there's charred wood material, burned seeds, or other artifacts that fell down into the posts.
So what's this flotation and how does that work?
Flotation is a way of separating the charred plant remains from the original soil matrix. And what we do with flotation is we run it through a big tank and aerate the soil, and then the soil washes away and the charred plant remains float, and we capture those with a fine mesh. And then we can look at those under the microscope and see what kind of wood was used in the post, or if any seed remains from food that people were preparing fell in, we can identify those microscopically as well.
So that's rather important then as far as understanding the lifestyle of the people who lived here.
It is. If we want to understand what people ate, we need to do flotation samples, particularly with plant remains. The other thing we can understand is what kind of wood people used. We do see that prehistoric Caddo in Wichita used certain types of wood in their structures, particularly red cedar and other types of wood that would last longer than others.
So Dr. Regnier, why is it important that we know what happened here at Spiro Mounds several hundred years ago?
One of the things that we want to learn by doing these excavations at Spiro is understand how prehistoric people interacted with their environment and how changes in their environment affected them and how they lived and how they managed to make a life in prehistoric Oklahoma. One of the things that we don't know about Spiro is who actually lived at the site. We know a lot about the mounds, but we don't understand who lived here. So this is a very good window to see how people lived in their houses in the past.
It seems like we might be looking at some of those same situations as far as changing environment.
Indeed, it looks like a lot of what happened at Spiro in the past happened as a response to climate change and a prolonged drought. And that's one of the things we want to look at is how people in the past reacted to the same pressures that we face today.
Well, that sounds important.
It is indeed.
Well, thank you very much for visiting with us today at Spiro Mounds.